Well, living in Taiwan has been an amazing experience for me because, number one, we all know that Taiwan is a culturally diverse place and it has friendly people, and living here is extremely convenient. Now I have had the chance to be incorporated into the education system. I did my bachelor's education here and my master's education here, and I was able to experience firsthand the education system and interact with people from different walks of life, and this has enhanced my background and my knowledge in many areas. And also, I have had the chance to travel to many areas of Taiwan, like the south of Taiwan, Kaohsiung, Taichung, and Ilan, and those areas have exhilarating mountain views and everything. Life there is extremely convenient, and you can move from one place to another with great ease. And also, living in Taiwan is extremely safe and convenient. You can move from one place to another with a lot of convenience without that much of a fuss. And one of the three most common Chinese writing errors I correct is most authors tend to place a noun and a pronoun in the same sentence. Now, for instance, an author will write in Chang et al. 2011, they propose an approach for segmenting images. However, they repeated the pronoun in the same sentence, and this creates an awkward and sometimes a grammatically inappropriate construction that can confuse readers. Now, they can avoid such ambiguity by just going straight to the point and saying Chang et al. 2011 investigated an approach for segmenting images instead of just repeating the pronoun in the same sentence. Most authors tend to mix up the words affect and effect. For instance, an author will say, the high correlation between the sample affects the classification accuracy. Now, note the inappropriate usage of the word effect in the sentence. Now, a second example can be, the shape of the sample has a considerable effect on its strength. Now, here is the inappropriate usage of the word affects. Now, so the authors can avoid such mistakes by keeping in mind that affect is commonly used as a verb to indicate to influence something, whereas effect is normally used as a noun to indicate an outcome of something. Now, for instance, the sentence I gave you previously can be corrected by saying the high correlation between the sample considerably affects the classification accuracy. Now, this is an appropriate usage of the word affect. And for the second erroneous example I gave earlier, can be corrected by saying the shape of the sample has a considerable effect on its strength. Now, doing so mitigates ambiguity, enhances the writing clarity, and also increases the chances of their manuscripts being accepted in the journals. The third error that I normally edit for most authors is the pronoun agreement. Most authors tend to use pronouns that do not agree in number with their antecedents. For example, let me give you an example. In Chang 2011, note that Chang is a single author. Chang 2011 proposed an algorithm for classifying images, and the authors will write, they reported that the classification accuracy was greater than 80%. Now, they use the pronoun they to refer to a singular antecedent, and this is grammatically inappropriate and can confuse the readers. Now, this inappropriate usage can be corrected by restructuring the sentence to mitigate the ambiguity by saying Chang 2011 proposed an algorithm for classifying images and he reported that provided Chang is a guy, that the classification accuracy was greater than 80%. I decided to be an editor because I developed a strong interest in English language from when I was in primary school. My primary school teachers will encourage me to express myself in writing more. So I tend to practice more, read more novels, and enhance my vocabulary. And during my college years too, I also had the opportunity to edit the conference papers of some of my classmates and seniors. And I also discovered that I enjoyed doing so, and I decided, that I wanted to do this full time. Authors can improve their writing by practicing, and just keep on practicing, because doing so enhances your usage of words and opens up new avenues for you to learn new things, and you can gain new words to incorporate into your vocabulary. Now, authors can also improve their writing by striving for conciseness and avoiding the use of ambiguous words and colloquial languages. And also, authors will try to keep in mind the subject-verb agreement error, as this is one of the most common errors that we normally edit here. and doing so can enhance the readability of their manuscripts and also enhance the chances of their manuscripts being accepted in journals. Well, editing at Wallace has been a novel and innovative experience for me, because at Wallace we use an editing approach in which we comment in papers to recommend to authors the appropriate word usage and how they can enhance their flow. Now, doing so enables them, to know the right words that they can use to ensure that their ideas and methods are presented as precisely and as clearly as possible to the audience. Now, this enables them to improve their writing skills and also increases their chances of approval in the journals. And also at Wallace, I am able to work full-time and I'm doing what I love doing, and that has been a great experience for me too. And also, like, when I started working at Wallace, like, we adopted a mentor-mentee relationship. Like, I was indoctrinated into the editing approach by my mentor, into the editing process rather, by my mentor, and this has enhanced my editing skills and has made me feel more welcome to work here. One of the most unique errors I took in electrical engineering papers is the indefinite article usage. Some authors tend to assign indefinite articles to abbreviations according to the first letter of the abbreviation, that is, whether the first letter is a vowel or a consonant. Now, this can be appropriate in most cases. However, the IEEE guidelines specifies that indefinite articles be assigned to abbreviations according to the sound of the first letter of the abbreviation. Now, let me give you an abbreviation, for instance, SEM. Now, most authors tend to assign the indefinite article A to the abbreviation. For instance, they will say a SEM image or a SEM process. However, this does not fall in line with the IEEE conventions, and they can mitigate this by just evaluating the sound of the first letter of the abbreviation. Since the first letter is S, it sounds like a vowel, ES, then they should assign the indefinite article "an" to the abbreviation, and this falls in line with the IEEE conventions. And the second most unique error I edit in electrical engineering papers is comma splices. Now, authors generally separate two complete clauses in a compound sentence by using a comma, and this does not fall in line with the IEEE conventions. Now, the IEEE conventions specify that two complete clauses in a compound sentence be separated by a semicolon. Now, such complete compound sentences can also be separated with a coordinating conjunction or using a period. However, to fall in line with the IEEE conventions, using the semicolon simply mitigates ambiguity and also increases the chances of the paper being accepted in the journal. And the third unique error I edit in electrical engineering papers is sentence fragments. Now, some authors, in a bid to avoid citing references, tend to create sentence fragments. However, the IEEE states that the references can be cited in text, and they can be cited using numerals that are placed in square brackets. And such brackets can also be used as nouns. Now, authors can keep in mind that they can use such citations as nouns, and they can avoid creating sentence fragments. And the second most unique error in chemistry papers that I edit is the inappropriate usage of end-dashes. Now, as we know, end-dashes are normally used to indicate a range of numerals, like similar ranges from here to here. However, most authors tend to assign an end-dash to a range that already contains a negative value, or a range that is already offsetted by the word from. However, the ACS style guide recommends that if a range already contains a negative number, or is preceded by the word from, then the end dash should not be used. And this is one of the most unique errors that I edit in ACS in chemistry papers. The third error that I normally edit in chemistry papers is the use of possessive in eponymic terms. Now, the CSE Council of Science Editors Style Guide specifies that authors avoid using possessives in eponymic terms. However, in most of the papers I edit, authors tend to use such terms in the possessive form, and this does not fall in line with the CSE Style Guide. Therefore, I implore authors to avoid using such terms in the possessive form to increase the chances of their papers being accepted into the journals.